Taking a look at the Melbourne Storm, the club seemingly closer than anybody to taking Penrith's crown as the dominant side in recent years. Can they find the missing piece or two from November 1 building into the future? They do look already set for a period of sustained success, and that seems to run hand in hand with the Melbourne Storm. Here are our top 5 candidates from November 1. Well, the Melbourne Storm, the best side in the competition for a lot of 2024, came up short against the rampaging juggernaut that is the mighty Penrith Panthers in the grand final, but not too far away. There is a good mix of experience and young talent emerging on their roster, and they might only need 1 or 2 little tweaks. They might not even need that if they are to win the premiership next season and then beyond under Craig Bellamy's tutelage, yet again approaching season number 21 at the club. We're going to take a look at the top 5 signing prospects for the Melbourne Storm, who are oh so close to the title. And how can they eke their way a little bit closer? 17 clubs to focus, Melbourne Storm today. Option 1, Bronson Cherry from the Canterbury Bulldogs. Centre's not an area where the Melbourne Storm possess enormous depth with the likes of Meaney and Howarth occupying those roles, but likely to be utilised elsewhere long term, or certainly have that flexibility. So it's an area that the Melbourne Storm would look to address, and Bronson Cherry did return from a drug suspension and helped lead the Bulldogs very nicely in their drought-breaking run to the finals. So that is an option. The Melbourne Storm have always been pretty astute at plugging whatever small holes might emerge on their list, and this might be one they identify. Option 2, Thomas Hazelton, big, powerful athlete from the Cronulla Sharks. And for the Melbourne Storm, it's always been about system, players that can come in and suit exactly what they're trying to do, the one soldier down, one soldier up mentality. And certainly he's going to be a big part of Cronulla's plans for 2025, but hasn't signed beyond that, which certainly means a club like Melbourne would ask the question. And when they ask a question, it would be considered very, very closely. So can they pry him out of the emerging Sharks team and slot him into the Melbourne Storm system? Option 3, Joe Offen, another option in an area that the Melbourne Storm are really looking to build depth. Had a pretty good campaign at times over the last couple of years with Parramatta. Does lack consistency though, and one thing that Craig Bellamy is very good at, and that's getting the best reliably and consistently out of some of those types of players. So they might look at him as an option to bolster their depth, but also they might feel that there's a small degree of untapped talent that they can still squeeze out of him. Option 4, Adam Elliot from Newcastle, a hard-working lock and second rower. Could be part of the salary cap squeeze that's likely to hit the Knights. There is a talk that he might be one that is edged out of that lineup, and Melbourne Storm could be the side that does pounce and bring him in. That hard-working, system-oriented player is the type of guy that Craig Bellamy would love to add to their roster, and the Knights are going to lose a couple. They won't want it to be him, but it just may be. Albert Hohaia, like Cherry that we mentioned right back at the start, he does tick the boxes in terms of the hard running and the work rate that would slot into Melbourne Storm, but he does also offer a point of difference in terms of his versatility. He can slide into a couple of different roles for them and does certainly feel gettable within their ranks. So could he be somebody that just adds a couple of % to this Melbourne Storm roster? Well, Melbourne Storm, they only need a couple of small tweaks if they are to close the gap. They did beat Penrith twice during the season, but not on grand final day. What do they need to achieve if they are going to bridge that gap and take the premiership in the near future, 2025, 2026 and beyond? Let us know what you think of our top 5 potential transfer targets for them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can catch our thoughts on the November 1 targets of all 17 clubs at zerotackle.com.